Bojack Horseman is a show that redefines animated storytelling and has captured the hearts of millions worldwide. But what if I were to reveal to you that there exists a collection of episodes that have been overlooked and underrated? Bojack Horseman is more than just a cartoon about a washed-up anthropomorphic horse. It's a thought-provoking exploration of mental health, fame, and the human condition. Each episode is a tapestry of emotions, blending dark humor, poignant storytelling, and breathtaking animation. As a dedicated fan, you may have proudly watched every episode, thinking you've seen it all. However, the truth is you may be missing out on something extraordinary. Can you believe it? But before starting, make sure you've subscribed to our channel and liked the video. Number 5. The View from Halfway Down. In the emotional and surreal episode, The View from Halfway Down of Bojack Horseman, we find our beloved character Bojack in a rather peculiar situation. As the episode unfolds, we discover that Bojack is, in fact, dying. But instead of a conventional afterlife, we delve into his subconscious mind, where he encounters a room full of characters who have passed away throughout the series. Among the deceased characters are the familiar faces of Sarah Lynn, Herb Kazaz, Corduroy Jackson, and even Zach Braff. As Bojack navigates this dreamlike scenario, he engages in conversations with those characters, reflecting on the best and worst moments of their lives, and pondering the meaning of death. However, what's interesting is that this entire experience is happening inside Bojack's head. These characters are not the actual people, but rather Bojack's memories of them, distorted by his own troubled mind.
Hey, what is that?
The conversations he has with them are essentially conversations with himself as he grapples with the significance of life before his imminent demise. During a dinner with his deceased friends, each character shares their regrets and reflections on their lives. Corduroy laments the meaningless pursuit of pleasure, wishing he had died for a cause he believed in. Sarah Lynn finds solace in the fact that her troubled life brought joy to others. Herb discovers meaning through philanthropy, and Bojack reminisced about a moment of genuine happiness when he helped a student during his teaching days. As the evening progresses, Bojack's father, Butterscotch, appears, taking on the form of Secretariat, Bojack's childhood idol.
Sorry I'm late. Did I miss the show?
Secretariat offers a nihilistic perspective as the group prepares to move on to a surreal performance. Each character represents their life and death through their act before stepping into an abyss of the unknown. In a heartfelt conversation, Secretariat reveals that he built emotional walls due to his fear of expressing love for his son. Finally, he recites a poem titled The View from Halfway Down, which encapsulates the thoughts racing through Secretariat's mind as he takes his own life.
It's called The View from Halfway Down.
Throughout this profound episode, we witness Bojack desperately trying to escape his impending fate. He reaches out to Diane, his constant pillar of support, seeking solace as he nears the end. Though she reminds him that none of this is real, Bojack asks her to stay on the phone as he faces his demise.
Diane, are you there? Diane, I need you.
In this fantastical realm, it's no surprise that Diane remains by his side. As the episode concludes, we are left with the understanding that Bojack has passed away, setting the stage for the series finale. However, a mysterious epilogue hints at a glimmer of hope. The mechanical hum of a flatline transitions into the steady beat of a functional heart monitor, suggesting that perhaps Bojack might get another chance at redemption. The View from Halfway Down encapsulates the essence of Bojack Horseman, exploring themes of regret, mortality, and the search for meaning in life. With its introspective and thought-provoking narrative, this episode leaves a lasting impact, reminding us of the complexity and fragility of human existence. Number 4. Free Churro. In Free Churro, we witness Bojack giving a eulogy at his mother's funeral. The entire episode revolves around his complicated relationship with his parents. We start with a flashback to Bojack's childhood, where his father, Butterscotch, picks him up late from soccer practice and launches into a misogynistic rant.
I can't concentrate because my idiot child is blasting the television. and it suddenly dawned on me. Hot cock on a rock, she never even picked up the little noise and snot factory.
It's clear that Bojack's father was not the most loving or supportive figure in his life. As Bojack recounts his experiences, we see the impact his parents had on his understanding of the world and his ability to form meaningful connections. Fast forward to the present, and Bojack reveals that his mother has passed away. He uses the eulogy as an opportunity to reflect on his upbringing and the profound effect it has had on him. Throughout his speech, Bojack touches on several core ideas, including freedom, his father's intellectual insecurity, his mother's struggle for escape, and his own adaptation to a dysfunctional family dynamic.
So now I have to comfort her, which is annoying. And meanwhile, there's a line of people forming behind me who are all giving me these real judgy looks because I made the Jack-in-the-Box girl cry.
Bojack also delves into the role of television in shaping his perception of relationships. He confesses that he often found solace in flawed TV characters who displayed grand gestures of care, which ultimately distorted his expectations of love and connection.
Here I am, Bojack Horseman, doing a eulogy. Let's go. Hey, piano man, can I get like an organ flourish?
He grapples with the idea that happy endings are rare in real life, and that his own existence might be defined by a constant longing for something more. Amidst the somber tone, there are moments of levity and dark humor. Bojack reflects on his mother's quirks, like smoking an entire cigarette in one inhale, and shares a funny anecdote about a cashier at a fast food drive-thru who gives him a free churro upon hearing about his mother's death. It's a bittersweet moment that shows the lack of compassion he received from his own family.
It's good to know that there is nobody looking out for me. That there never was, and there never will be.
The episode ends with a twist as Bojack realizes he's been delivering his eulogy in the wrong funeral room. His speech was primarily for himself, a way to process his complex emotions and seek closure. Free Churro is a masterclass in storytelling with its introspective narrative. It shows us that our relationships with our parents shape us in profound ways, whether we like it or not. Number 3. Fish Out of Water. In the iconic episode of Bojack Horseman's Fish Out of Water, we dive into a world beneath the ocean where our favorite talking horse Bojack finds himself in a sea of silence. Now, Bojack is no stranger to darkness and realism, but this episode takes it to a whole new level. The story begins with Bojack attending a big international film festival underwater. What's interesting is that he doesn't speak the language, and to make matters worse, he's wearing a soundproof helmet. Communication becomes a hilarious challenge as Bojack tries to navigate this unfamiliar environment. What makes Fish Out of Water truly amazing is that it manages to convey a heart-wrenching story without uttering a single word. It's like watching a silent movie, but with a talking horse. The absence of dialogue adds a unique artistic touch to the episode, making it a true masterpiece. Bojack's struggles in this underwater world are amplified by the lack of familiar comforts. Alcohol floats away, cigarettes refuse to light, and there's no one around to understand his frustrated outbursts. It's a profound exploration of the things left unsaid and the isolation we often feel in our own lives. Amidst this silent adventure, Bojack crosses paths with a baby seahorse. Together, they aim to reunite the little one with its father. The journey becomes a metaphor for Bojack's own quest for redemption and connection. As he tries to mend past mistakes, the episode touches on themes of alienation and personal growth. Just when you think the episode has said all it needs to say, a surprising twist occurs. Bojack finds out that his helmet actually has a button for communication, and he could have spoken all along. It's a humorous moment that adds an extra layer of irony to the episode. Number 2. The Shot. In this episode of Bojack Horseman, things take an unexpected turn for our favorite washed-up horse. Bojack, fueled by his desire to make the Secretariat film more authentic, hatches a plan with his ragtag team of misfits. The episode begins with a flashback to Secretariat's racing days, where a young Bojack watches his idol proudly endorse the war in Vietnam. Inspired, Bojack tries to smoke a cigarette but fails miserably, resulting in a scolding from his mother. Fast forward to the present, and Bojack finds himself on his balcony, contemplating life and smoking yet another cigarette. which accidentally starts a fire. As Bojack heads to the set of the Secretariat film, he discovers that the pivotal Nixon scene has been replaced with the saccharine Christmas-themed scene. Bojack protests, arguing that the dark and gritty nature of the Nixon scene is essential to the film.
Did you guys cut the Nixon scene? The Nixon scene is the core of the whole movie, where we see Secretariat be morally corrupted and get to look into the real darkness of his soul.
However, the film's producer, Lenny, informs him that focus groups prefer wholesome content that doesn't stir controversy. Meanwhile, Princess Carolyn faces her own dilemma at Vigor. Rutabaga, her colleague going through an ugly divorce, proposes that they leave Vigor and start their own agency. Princess Carolyn hesitates, unsure of leaving behind her 20-year tenure. However, after some persuasion, she agrees to join Rutabaga in this new venture.
Beautiful, I'm starting my own agency, and I want you to be my partner in crime.
What? But I can't just leave, Vigor. I've been here 20 years.
In Cordovia, Diane accompanies Sebastian St. Clair, an ostentatious philanthropist, as she writes about his charity work. But Diane soon realizes that Sebastian is more interested in his own fame than genuinely helping people. Their disagreement escalates when a bombing occurs, and Diane's concerns for the locals clash with Sebastian's self-centered agenda. Back on the Secretariat set, Bojack confronts Kelsey, the director, about the diluted nature of the film. Frustrated, Bojack convinces Kelsey to film the Nixon scene at the actual Oval Office set in the Nixon Library, promising that it will impress Lenny and allow them to make the movie they envisioned. Bojack assembles his team, including Todd, Princess Carolyn, Mr. Peanut Butter, and the recently released criminal mastermind, Margot Martindale. They plan to create a diversion at an art store to distract the police while Bojack and Kelsey sneak into the Nixon Library. As chaos ensues at the art store, Princess Carolyn becomes mesmerized by a Thomas Kinkade painting, fantasizing about living a serene life within the artwork. However, her rival, Vanessa, interrupts her reverie, revealing that she has become the top agent in town. Princess Carolyn snaps back to reality, and she and Todd escape the chaotic scene. Diane, realizing the flaws in Sebastian's character, calls Mr. Peanut Butter and admits she misses him in Cordovia. Meanwhile, at the library, Bojack struggles to cry during the emotional scene, leading Kelsey to ask everyone to leave the room.
I can't do it. I didn't know you wanted me to cry.
She tells Bojack that this is the moment when Secretariat realizes something inside him is broken and can never be fixed. The next day, Princess Carolyn decides to leave Vigor and start her own agency with Rutabaga. Back on set, Bojack discovers that Kelsey has been fired for going behind Lenny's back and filming the Nixon scene. As Bojack drives home, he finds Diane waiting for him at his front door, seeking a place to stay. Number 1. Mr. Peanut Butter's Booze. Mr. Peanut Butter's Booze takes us through 4 different Halloween parties in different years. The episode starts in 1993, with Mr. Peanut Butter dressed as a hippie and his wife Katrina as Blossom. They arrive at Bojack's house, even though Bojack doesn't remember inviting them.
Who are you, and what are you doing here?
Oh, good one. Pretending not to know your old friend, Mr. Peanut Butter?
Why are you at my house?
The party is a bit chaotic, with spiked punch and random conversations. Katrina gets upset when Mr. Peanut Butter leaves her alone, and they argue. The party ends with Katrina storming off, leaving Mr. Peanut Butter alone. In 2004, Mr. Peanut Butter is now married to Jessica Biel, and they arrive at Bojack's party. Jessica gets mad when she sees Bojack dressed as a mummy because she once auditioned for a mummy role and didn't get it. She storms off, leaving Mr. Peanut Butter behind. In 2009, Mr. Peanut Butter attended the party with his girlfriend, Diane. She's dressed as Baby Bjorn Borg, a combination of a cyborg and a tennis player. Diane gets overwhelmed by the party and has an awkward encounter with Bojack. She ends up running out of the house, leaving Mr. Peanut Butter behind. Finally, in 2018, Mr. Peanut Butter attends the party with his new girlfriend, Pickles. They're wearing matching costumes inspired by a social media app. The party is in full swing, but tensions arise between Pickles and Mr. Peanut Butter when he keeps bringing up his ex-wives. Pickles gets upset and runs off crying. Diane, who has been trying to leave the party throughout the episode, helps Mr. Peanut Butter realize that he needs to listen to his partners and not let them outgrow him. She advises him to either date older women or grow up himself. They both go to comfort Pickles, who's feeling hungover and upset in the bathtub. So that's a wrap for this video. If you enjoyed it, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content. Thanks for watching.